All right, what's going on, guys? So, if you haven't noticed, it feels like it's harder and harder for you to get through life without having some position on some major issue, right? And so, for a long time, a lot of people have been able to be neutral. They can straddle the fence. They don't really have to give their opinion, a position on something, and they can get by, right? But now it seems like more and more that if you don't have a position, you might be brushed aside. You may not have friends. You may not have somebody that wants to hang out with you or whatever it is, right? And it's more so impacting a lot of people with their job decisions. It's impacting people with their hiring. It's impacting people's social credibility and their image, whatever it is. And God has allowed it on purpose, such that in this day and age, all the big issues, the ones that have just been kind of brushed under the rug, all the ones that people were okay with kind of straddling the fence, not really having a strong opinion on something, God has allowed it now, for which, in order for you to get through the future, to get to the next position, God is testing you, and He's intentionally allowing it such that you have to wrestle with it, really think through it critically, and not be spoon fed different opinions and thoughts that a lot of your favorite pastors, your favorite influencers, your favorite role models are having. And now God is having it now such that you as a listener, you as the end person, the person who your life, you sit in your life and you have to go about making decisions on your own. He's having it such that He's waking you up and forcing you to wrestle through something and say, do you see my heart behind something? Do you see how if you give it some thought, that there's depth, there's breadth to something, and that you have to see it from my perspective? And now God is having it such that you have to have a position on issues, especially as it's a black and white issue. No more can you think that it's a gray area. A lot of issues, quite honestly, still can be a gray area. It could just be a preference on what you choose, what's good, what's better, and things like that. But for other issues, it's come to the point now for which you have to research and understand it from the perspective of what is true and what is made up. What is it such that somebody's feeding you a story, a propaganda, a perspective, and your perspective on what is reality? And so now God is having it such that if you don't pray about it, if you don't seek and lean into Him, then you're going to be eaten alive. And so I'm here to warn people lovingly that the future, it's not going to be any better in that you can just get by, fly under the radar, and just be okay with things. You have to make a choice. You have to make a righteous choice, or you're going to be on the wrong side of the fence. And so I'm not here to force you to have an opinion on something that I believe is true or not. I'm telling you that you have to wrestle with it on your own. You have to pray about it. You have to go to the Lord on your own. The society, the world that we live in now is such that if you don't seek Him and you don't get the answer from Him, then you are going to be in a worse off position, because you're going to be confused. You're going to be heartbroken. You're not going to know how to think. You're not going to practice exercising those muscles such that you have to be able to think critically on your own. No more does God want you to be spoon-fed something. No more does God want you to be deceived in a certain way of thinking, a certain ideology. You have to make it such that you have to take a side in a position, but in a way for which you're not blindly thinking, this is what's best, this is what I think is good. But really, you have to critically think through it and wrestle through it. And then you'll be in a better place of enlightenment, a better place of discernment, a more wiser place for which, as a brother and a sister, as a child of God, you can get through life and society in a better state. So God bless you guys. Be encouraged by this word. Continue wrestling with it. A lot of people are waking up and seeing what is truth, and there's a revival going on as we speak. More and more people are realizing the truth. And what is that truth? First and foremost, it's the gospel and who God is, but also with how you're looking at life around you and what's being spoon-fed and what's actually the true story behind something. So God bless you guys. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.